Today we're going to look at the Colt Double Eagle, but we're going to talk a little bit more about the story of why it was made and what was going on at the time that it was. So, hi, I'm Evan with Nutmeg Sports. I think I've filmed this video 4 times now, and there's something that's always been wrong with it, so hopefully number 4 is my lucky charm. Last one, my head was like halfway cut off at the top, so I'm hoping that's cool this time. But again, I'm Evan with Nutmeg Sports, and this is Nutmeg Sports Media. I've created this brand to kind of bring more attention to the industry and hope to kind of keep it alive a little bit more than it is now. I am 22 years old. I have been around this stuff my whole life. My grandfather was Jim Alimo. He started Nutmeg Sports. He used to be the head of the Colt Custom Shop. And now I am lucky enough to carry on this tradition of this company, and I couldn't be more happy about it. But I do feel that this industry has lost a lot of its luster. It's not as exciting as it used to be for people, and I hope I can change that. I've been around this stuff my whole life. I find it very interesting, and I hope I can make you guys interested in it as well. Again, I'm new at this. This is my first video. If you guys could leave some comments down below and tell me what you'd like to see or what you'd like to hear about, that would be great. Also, please ignore the fact that I am sweating. It is 90 degrees in this fucking room. So we'll see if I make it through without dying of heat exhaustion. Today we'll be talking about the 1989 Colt Double Eagle. This is a first-year production gun. It was gifted to Rick Riebling from Gary French. Gary French was the president of Colt at the time, and Rick Riebling was the vice president. They were really leading the charge of modernization in this time. And to understand why, we got to take it back a couple years. So, I don't know why I put that back in there. To look at what was happening in 89 and why it was happening in 89, let's go back to 1986. So, in 1986, there was a big shootout in Miami with the FBI, where 2 officers actually fatally passed away, and I don't think there's another way to pass away besides fatal, but yeah, they died. And the FBI blamed it partially on a lack of stopping power. They were after 2 men that were on a serial of robberies and I believe a murder. And due to improper ballistic testing and not enough stopping power, they were screwed. I mean, they were going up against guys with .223 and .357. So their stuff really didn't combat that very well. They ended up having to call a bunch of other units in, and 5 other officers got injured as well. So the FBI was out to look for solutions. So were police forces, because, you know, the FBI is doing a bunch of trials and tribulations trying to find the best gun ever for people to carry. Police departments are probably going to do the same. So Colt was in a period where they were dealing with the M16. Their contract with the United States military had just gone into the toilet, and FN had just taken over that contract, which was a huge kick in the nuts for Colt financially, really, and morally. But either way, they continued on somehow, and they were like, we got to build a gun that's going to combat what's going on with these guns coming out of Europe. Because everybody wanted a high-capacity 9mm firearm. And they wanted something lightweight, easy to carry, and that's what companies like Glock, SIG, and Beretta delivered. Colt, on the other hand, didn't want to abandon their full steel frame and hammer fire design. So they took the base of a 1911. As you can see, it's a full steel frame, just like a 1911. Kind of looks just like a funky one, you know, same slide, same everything, but just with some funky stuff back here. So as you can see, features a decocker. This is a DA SA 1911 basically, chambered in 45 ACP. and I believe it was chambered in something else too. I'm not exactly sure. But this was Colt's way to stay in the game. And at the end of the day, it obviously didn't work because nobody really knows what this gun is. And the people that do, they either hate it or they love it. I'm the kind of guy that loves it. You know, I think it's really cool. I think it's really interesting what it represents. It's a really unique time at Colt where the company was for sale. The strikes were on their 4th year, and quality control was in the crapper. Everything was going wrong for them. They were just scratching, trying to get a grasp on something. And along with that, at the time, Colt stopped the AR-15 civilian sales, which people hated. So they were in a horrible public light. And the reason that they stopped doing the civilian AR-15 sales was because of politicians were looking into the assault weapons part of the industry. So Colt didn't want to get in trouble at all, so they stopped all civilian sales, which some people say was one of the worst decisions that Colt ever made, which I'm not going to agree or disagree because, you know, I don't really have a horrible opinion on it, but yeah. So just to recap a little bit, Colt lost their contract to FN Herstal for the M16. Had them down the dumps real bad. 1989 comes around. They're still scrambling because they lost his contract. The Glock 17 is taking up a huge part of the market for them because these polymer strike fire guns are now idiot proof. You can put them in the hands of pretty much anybody and they can put them on the paper. So it was a huge application for police departments to say, okay, well, geez, you know, these guys don't have to carry revolvers and, you know, 45s anymore. They can carry, you know, a plastic gun with way more rounds and 9mm, and anybody can use them. Smith & Wesson tried making their 1076, which was a 10mm handgun for the FBI, but they ended up not releasing that to any officers due to the fact that it was difficult to control. So I'm guessing the 1076 was something similar to this, which just didn't hit the nail on the head for what they wanted. At the end of the day, when you're looking at this gun, you're not just looking at a firearm. You're looking at a time where no employee, no manager, no customer knew what was going on with Colt or where it was going to turn. This is basically what I think they thought the future of Colt was going to look like. And it sums up a lot of what Colt is and was. And it was a huge time of uncertainty for everyone there. And everyone came together to make this. At the end of the day, most people will tell you that it ended up failing, or it's forgotten, or it's not important. But I think it resembles a very important part of Colt's history, and I hope that you guys feel the same way. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Give me some new video ideas. I'm going to be doing hopefully one of these a week, so let me know if you liked it. Let me know what you guys want to see. Thanks. Have a good one. Yeah.